at the very least, December 1st of next year, either Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning will be in the transfer portal. Mark my words. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also, hit the like button, okay? Won't cost you anything to do all that stuff. All it's going to cost you is being up to date on everything football related. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so I have one last video before I take a couple days off. And again, going over to Montana with my family. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about something because right now I had a video before talking about how the transfer portal in college football was similar to free agency in that it's multiple different ways. It has to do with money. You could really change your team quick, and it's probably not as fruitful as you think it is. That being said, I do know one thing. One position that is very, very unique in the transfer portal where you can get quality starters immediately, very soon, and very, very capably is the quarterback position. There's been a couple that came off the board, the transfer portal board recently, that I want to talk about because, man, I'm telling you right now, if you are lacking a quarterback and you think you're a quarterback away, transfer portal is not a bad option for you. Now, the first one here is JT Daniels, ex-West Virginia, ex-Georgia, ex-USC. He's transferring to Rice. So like I said before, there are instances where if somebody is available, there's usually a reason for them being available. That can be true at the same time as JT Daniels being a solid quality player for a quarterback. But you see here it says, well-traveled quarterback JT Daniels has committed to Rice, sources told ESPN. Again, former National High School Player of the Year, whose fourth college home, USC Georgia, West Virginia, going a combined 17-12 as a starter. So Stetson Bennett, who took his job at Georgia, and then you have Keaton Slovis, who was the guy who took over at USC, who was also transferred from USC to Pitt, who is also transferring from Pitt. It's just the transfer portal. You can tell that the quarterbacks who are journeymen in the pros are also going to be journeymen in college. I think there could be a couple of instances. You know, Kyler Murray, he was a guy who transferred, and then he was also a first-round pick. So you see the fact Justin Fields was a guy who transferred, and he was a first-round pick. Quality guys in the league there. But, man, you see the fact JT Daniels is going on a couple different ways here. And again, he's going to, there's familiarity between Daniels and Bloomgren. And again, right here we have Mike Bloomgren, head coach at Rice. And it says who began recruiting the quarterback when he was a high school freshman in 2015. Back then, Bloomgren was served as Stanford's offensive coordinator. Bloomgren also attempted to recruit Daniels to Rice the two previous times he's transferred. Well, unfortunately, Georgia and West Virginia. A little more clout than Rice. Again, Rice is solid, going to the American. I like what they're doing. But you can see that. And again, they basically talk about how the fact that it's a big issue here because the Rice projects to return starters at every position other than quarterback and center. That includes star receiver Luke McCaffrey, who projects as the program's top offensive target after 723 yards receiving this year. Remember here, Luke McCaffrey was a quarterback at Nebraska. I know that because once he transferred, my friend who's a Nebraska fan let me know all about it, how even his mom was like, we hate that guy. But anyways, you see the fact that the transfer portal is definitely effective if you want to get a quarterback. How effective Rice is going to be with JT Daniels, I don't know. Eventually, he'll run out of eligibility. But for right now, he is still playing. Now, this one's a little bit higher on my list. Okay, former NC State quarterback Devin Leary transfers to Kentucky. So this one is a little bit bigger of a situation because Devin Leary, very established, had an injury-riddled season. I mean, JT Daniels a little bit there too. JT Daniels has had a couple of injuries. But, Devin Leary only played in a couple games this year. Remember, this is coming off of the fact that he threw for 3,400 yards and 35 touchdowns during the 2020 season, broke Phillip Rivers' single-season school record for touchdowns that season, and also had 2 rushing touchdowns. So, 37 touchdowns and 3,400 yards. Really, really good. 2021, 2022, he threw for 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 picks in 6 games. So, not what he wanted to have there. However, Kentucky, solid football program, really, really doing well out there in the SEC East, although they are going to be merging with the SEC West at some point. But you see the fact that Kentucky, not just a basketball school, doing well there. Will Levis, more than likely, is going to the NFL draft. And again, he says right here he declared. So they're looking for a new option at quarterback. Devin Leary, solid option. I like what he's done. He didn't last very long. December 5th is when he entered in here. 15 days is a fair amount of time, but he was linked to Notre Dame, Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina, among others. He will have 1 year of eligibility. Like I said, right now, you need a quarterback. Kentucky feels like they're close. They go out and get Devin Leary, a good option for them. And then another really interesting one here. Ex-Notre Dame quarterback Drew Pine transferring to Arizona State. So Drew Pine, starter at Notre Dame. Going out there, Notre Dame, if the first couple of games got a little rocky, that loss to Marshall had people really, really thrown off. I know that the loss to Ohio State was not what they wanted to have either. But you see the fact he said here that Pine appreciated Dillingham, a.k.a. head coach of Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham, his work in developing Bo Nix in Oregon last year and was attracted to the program's new energy and in playing for a quarterback-friendly head coach. According to sources, Pine also felt the momentum built within the program. Remember, our dear friend Kenny Dillingham, I almost said Cunningham. Dillingham has been doing really, really well. He's a local guy. He really is passionate about Arizona State. I'm glad for them just because this comes from the Herm Edwards situation where there was people in the program openly, I won't say openly, but candidly trying to leak things to the outside world because they were just trying to get rid of him. I don't know what was going on there. A little toxic. Oh, no, I hate that word. It was a little bit toxic there. But you see the fact that he was 8-2. Drew Pine was at Notre Dame, leading it and finished to a number 20 nationally in individual quarterback efficiency. He was 8-2 and 4-1 against top 25 teams. Really didn't have any weapons. Had Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is a solid guy out there, but remember, if your tight end is your number one guy, that's not a great sign for you. He isn't physically imposing, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He showed the ability to stay healthy and absorb hits without getting injured. He also took care of the ball, showed quick twitch on his throws, and the ability to deliver from multiple platforms. Arizona State finished 3-9. Like, again, we mentioned the Herm Edwards situation. He was fired in September. It was all hell in a handbasket. But he'll join a few solid offensive weapons, sophomore receiver Elijah Badger and sophomore tight end Jalen Conyers. And again, two of the more promising young skill position guys in the Pac-12. So Arizona State, I said this about Arizona last year. Do I think that Arizona from the year before, I said I don't think they're going to be good, but if they're going to be a lot better than they were the year before, I think the Arizona State, that can be true too. 3-9. Remember, if they go 5-7, 6-6, that's a huge, huge turnaround for this team right here. More than likely, though, new team, lots of new people in here. You see the fact the addition of Pine marks the 26th new recruit or transfer brought in since Dillingham's hire in November. So you see the fact that Dillingham is doing his best to change things right now. But like I said, if you need a quarterback, the transfer portal is not a bad option. And you can come over here and see this when you come to 247 Sports. You see up here, there's a lot of really highly rated guys. So 94, 94, 93. Grayson McCall is still available. Grayson McCall's 3-year starter at Coastal Carolina. Really, really good player out there. Hudson Card is still available. Colin Schlee transferred to UCLA. Shadur Sanders to Colorado. DJ Uiagalelei is transferred, I hope I said that right, to Hawaii. Brennan Armstrong is available. Luke Altmaier is still available. Jeff Sims goes from Georgia Tech to Nebraska. And we've got Malik Hornsby, he is a flyer at quarterback. He's at Arkansas. He's got 4 years of eligibility left. There's a lot of people out there. Keaton Slovis is going again. So we'll see what happens with there. Spencer Sanders is available. Cade McNamara decided to go to Iowa. My boy Hank Bachmeier, I appreciate what he did, but ultimately he is still in the transfer portal. So like I said, there's a couple guys here that are still available. If you need a quarterback, you can go and find one. However, one thing I want to make sure that we're clear about here is the big thing about the transfer portal is it gives the players the same abilities as, or I won't say the same, but similar abilities as the coaches. Coaches can leave whenever they want to. Players are locked in their scholarships. Not anymore. There's a lot more mobility. However, what this is doing, though, is anytime you're a top flight player and you want to play and you're a quarterback, there's only one quarterback. There could be 2 receivers. There could be 2 running backs. You can have a rotation thing. There could be 5 offensive linemen. There could be 3 defensive ends. If you want to have like a NASCAR package or something like that. It's a technical term from the NFL. Don't worry about that. But there's a lot of different options for everybody other than quarterback. There's only one football. So with that, anytime you recruit a top flight quarterback one year and the top flight quarterback the next year, there's going to be issues. And again, you can already see this, even if you just Google it. If you just Google Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning. Again, Quinn Ewers at Texas. Arch Manning, number 1 committed to Texas. There's so many articles here, and you can see the fact that, look at this here. So on October 11th, is it possible that Arch Manning underestimated Quinn Ewers? And then a month later, Quinn Ewers setting himself up for Arch Manning to take his job. So again, I don't know if it's probably written by somebody from Texas. And then Arch Manning versus Quinn Ewers. Steve Sarkisian hints at what he wants to do. Arch Manning versus Quinn Ewers commitment doesn't mean the QB controversy. Yes, it does. Okay? Yes, it does. There's absolutely a QB controversy. QB controversy is we don't know who's going to be the starter. If it isn't a QB controversy, then whoever loses that is entering the portal, because that's how the portal works here. The quarterback is not one of those situations where you're going to be a number one overall commit. You're going to sit redshirt and then sit for 3 years behind somebody else. That's not going to happen. If you can play, you're going to play right away. I'm telling you right now, if not sooner, at the very least, December 1st of next year, either Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning will be in the transfer portal. Mark my words. So like I said, again, if you need a quarterback, there's plenty of options out there. However, you're not able to hoard them. Before, you could just go out there and get the number one guy, get the number one guy the next year, get the number 7 guy the next year, get the number one guy the next year, whatever it was. You're not able to do that so much anymore. These young quarterbacks, they want to play, they want to get the experience, they want to get ready for the NFL. Even if it's not exactly a reasonable situation for them, they want to play. So the thing about that is that those players can go out there and do that. There's a couple things that are interesting about that. As an example, Grayson McCall, 3 years at Coastal Carolina, can still go back to Coastal Carolina. But a big thing with him, though, is I bet he's like, well, I don't really know how my stock is going to be in the NFL. But what if I get $2 million in the transfer portal? I don't see a problem with that because coaches will do that all the time. So remember, I know some people out here don't like the transfer portal, but what do you think about this right now? Who are you a fan of? Are you wanting to go out there? Is your team missing a quarterback? Get in the comments right now and let me know about this current situation. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. I am going to be gone for a little bit. I'll probably have my next video probably posted next Tuesday. But beyond that, guys, have a happy holiday season. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.